Hey, Jack. All right. You got this stuff?
Yeah. All cleaned in oil.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's get it on.
Who are these guys?
It's my theme music. Every good hero should have some.
Live from Springfield, Missouri, the one, the only, Bud Green.
Excuse me, can I get a cup of coffee? Black? Can't you see we talking? White?
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Morning Coffee with Keith and Martin.
Oh, no. I'm just a prop.
You're never a prop, my man. You are a very important component to every show, and I'm happy to have you with me.
Thank you.
First and foremost, let's look at who we have here so far. It looks like I think we got Penny. Penny's here. Hello, Penny. D-Bud Martin. Anima Confusa. Because, what can we say but nice things about Anima? You're awesome, Anima. And tomorrow, Andy. Mrs. A, good morning to you. Emotionally unstable amphibian, hail to you.
Also known as Crazy Frog.
Yes. Hail, Crazy Frog. Or as my good friend Loki likes to say, skål and tuck and roll. Ha ha.
However, you missed someone.
Who did I miss?
By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
Tim, there you are, but I am so sorry, Tim. I am so sorry. Well, and well again. I hope this morning finds a lot of you doing very, very well. And I think this morning I am drinking Earl Grey with lavender. I'm more of a tea drinker, but morning coffee, there'll be days I have my coffee, but today I went with whole tea. Little Earl Grey. Anyway, so yes, we have entered convention season. It is February now. And I got to tell you, February 1st. I know that for some of you, conventions have already started. And I know that MegaCon is going on this weekend in Florida. So first of all, to everyone headed down to Florida for MegaCon, congratulations. Have fun. Be safe. And really don't forget the hand sanitizer. Because you'll need it. But before we get into the main topic, I just want to do D-Bud Martin says morning. Extremely busy at work this morning, so I'll just be listening in. Well, keep listening, D-Bud Martin.
Working is important.
Working is important. Again, thank you, lovely Penny. Anima. Anyway, So by now, I think it's safe to say that a lot of you out there have heard about the latest casting for the upcoming Superman film by James Gunn.
Yeah.
And Martin and I were talking before the show, and Martin, what'd you think of the casting?
Ah, it's not of my liking. I think. Give me a second. I need to. Well, it went away.
Oh,
I was going to sneeze, but it went away.
okay.
So I don't know. I like the actress. I like how she works, how she carries herself. I think if in given enough time, she will become a true chameleon. It's
Hmm.
my personal opinion. However, I don't think she looks the part. Hey, Dragon Roost is in the house. Uh, how how is that is going to play? We have to wait and see, because man, I understand the power of acting. I mean, Frank Langella convinced me he was Nixon. I I had no other thing to say. So, uh, although I am not convinced that she looks the part, she may the part hers, just like Hugh Jackman did with Wolverine.
Hmm. Well, first and foremost, for those that haven't heard, actress Millie Alcott, who many were introduced to in the on the show House of the Dragon during the first 5 episodes of the show, uh, has been cast for the upcoming Superman film. James Gunn was able to confirm that. Uh, I don't know what I was really expecting, but I will say this: uh, I like her. I thought she, as well as the entire cast of House of the Dragon, did a phenomenal job. If it had been up to me, I think it would have been a rout with the cast of House of the Dragon. Would have gotten almost all the acting awards for Emmys because they were that good. Uh, I I think that Millie is definitely going to surprise a few people, and I know that there were people who were big fans of the Supergirl that you saw in the movie The Flash last year. But you
I'm
got
one.
say what?
I'm one of them.
Yes, but you have to remember what Gerry and I told everybody. That film was
But
DOA.
wait. That's another case in which an actress or an actor that at first I didn't like as a character, and when I got to the movie, I said, "Well, she sold it to me."
Yes,
So I'm perfectly open to that to happen.
and you know what? It's great that you were. You know, again, okay. Let me just be out there with it. I liked her. I did like her, but she was only perfect for that particular version of the DC universe that
Yes.
had already been altered from what Zack Snyder had. Zack didn't cast her. Zack never wrote anything with Supergirl in it. She was cast based on the people who, in my opinion, ruined DC films and knew exactly what they were doing. She was cast to replace Henry Cavill.
Mhm.
I do not blame that actress at all. I thought she was very good for that movie. Uh, But if I had to decide between this actress just cast and that one, I'd pick this one. And I'll tell you why. I like that James Gunn is at least attempting to make these heroes seem like they come out of the comics. Okay? That's something that we're missing a lot of.
And that's my
Because
problem.
I think what has happened with Marvel, really what's happened with the entire industry, according to Screen Rant, if you've been following their D-files, but their expose about Disney's undoing, which helps to explain a lot of what's happened in recent years. I think it's time to get back to just having a lot of these characters the way that they are presented in the comics. The only downside that I could see, outside of, again, everybody remembering that James Gunn really only has one shot at this, according to David Zaslav. He's not willing to pay for second chances. Okay? James Gunn has a 5-year contract, if I remember correctly. So he needs to get a move on if he wants to officially be the guy for DC Films. That's the reason why I think he's doing all of this with Superman, why he's casting all these parts and doing what he's doing, because Zaslav is only technically going to give him enough time to basically do one thing. And again, this is something that we've discussed on the show all last year. None of this is a surprise. None of this is new. If you've been following the show, Wolverine 626, I stand corrected. It was Film Threat. I don't mean to misidentify. Screen Rant, those guys are good. But Film
Are
Threat
they?
is Screen Rant, those guys are good.
I stopped following them. They went to.
Yeah, I know. Look, they're good. I didn't say they were perfect. Didn't say they were great.
They were good ones. This is Martin's opinion. Okay.
It's all good. Look. Unlike other shows, I do believe in people having differing opinions. I'm not going to hate on anyone because it's your opinion.
No. What I do not want to convey the image that the whole PCM thinks Screen Rant is a heaping trash pile of trash on fire. That is just only my opinion.
Well, thank you for clarifying. Anyway, as a fan, as a comic book fan, really, I really have not been a big fan of what has been going on with Marvel and DC these last few years. And I just think that overall, it's a lot of needless confusion, bad writing, and really a lot of people just getting paid to be ignorant, in the sense that not having any real understanding of the IP that they're using and those characters connected with the IPs. I mean, if you have people getting hired to write this stuff who have no past understanding or connection with it, then really you can hire anybody to write these scripts. So, I mean, there's people out there. I mean, why don't you just hire the people who, wrote some of the biggest dramas over the last few years to write some of this stuff, if you're really going to go that far. It's one of those things that makes no sense to me, but if James Gunn's really going to put some work into it and really try to get as much onto film, especially where DC is concerned, to unveil heroes that have, up to this point, many of them, there are still a lot of DC heroes who have never made an appearance on either television or films, or for that matter, even in animation. You know, those of us who are DC fans will tell you they have barely scratched the surface. Marvel, in just a couple of years, have done more for unveiling and putting characters that were little to not well known at all and putting them in the forefront of what they're doing over the last 15 to 20 years than DC has. And one of those characters, February, let me unveil one of those characters for you right now. I'm going to try to make it a point to do this for the rest of this month. His name is the Amazing Man. You can Google that name. It's a black superhero.
Wait. Are you talking about yourself?
Oh, thank you, Martin, but no. This is an actual character from DC Comics called Amazing Man. And black superhero, you can Google him. Amazing Man, DC Comics. I'm telling you, I'm sure there's quite a few of you who've never heard of this character. He is an original character, and a character that, in my opinion, would really be a very good character to use in a movie. Heck, even create an entire movie around that character. That'd be great. But that's just a sample of some of the characters that are in DC Comics that nobody knows because they've never really done anything with those characters. You know, I keep talking about Icon. Icon's another good one. You know, everybody knows Static, but Icon, that's a really cool character. Anyway, to get back to Millie Alcott being cast as Supergirl, I feel about that the same way I did about Gal Gadot being cast as Wonder Woman. Gal was not my first choice, but I liked her casting.
I didn't. I still don't like
Really?
the cast.
I'm
Yeah,
learning
she's too
so much
skinny.
about
She's too skinny.
They,
I mean, her portrayal is impeccable,
yes,
but
she
she
embodies
doesn't
it.
look the part. She
What,
doesn't look the part.
who would you have cast as Wonder Woman?
Oh, in my favorite actress for that part, there was that moment in time when she was perfect. I forgot her name. The the girl that played Lady Sif.
Really?
Yes, when she played Lady Sif, I saw her and said, "That's Wonder Woman."
Okay. If I can remember her name. Oh man. Lady Sif from Thor. So
I'm looking for it. So
okay.
you can continue. And
Um well, that really is good. Jamie Alexander is
Jamie
who you're.
Alexander, yes.
Yeah. My choice was actress Lynn Collins, Lynn Collins.
Okay.
Yeah, you may know her as Deja Thors from John Carter. Um, she
Yeah, no.
she had the right build. She's definitely used to action, and some of the fight scenes with her were really well done. And I could have easily have seen her as Wonder Woman. Now, the downside was that when they were casting for Wonder Woman, I think Lynn was already in her late 30s. She was almost 40. So she would not have been able to do 10 years. So, but I mean, if they needed a Wonder Woman who was slightly older, Lynn Collins would have been perfect. Gorgeous woman. And in my opinion, had the physical characteristics of Wonder Woman. And you disagree with that choice, Martin?
Yeah.
Oh,
I dare disagree.
It's all good, my man. All good.
You see, that's the thing. They for me,
mm-hmm.
they have to look the part. Millie Alcock, I'm gonna tell you this. She had Supergirl must look like a blue eye, blonde hair, teenager American girl.
Mm-hmm.
That's how she has to look because that's the way she is drawn.
Mm-hmm.
And let's face it, Millie Alcock's face is not Supergirl's face. The main, and I'm not talking about the leanness or lack of thereof of or her face. I'm talking about her eyes. Don't get me wrong. I I tend to find um, uh, small eyes in women more attractive than bigger eyes. But the character has big eyes, big round eyes. She doesn't have that. She doesn't look like Cara Sorel. Again, she may very well do make that character hers. That can happen.
I think
But
it can. I really do think it can. I mean, again, we're gonna need to, see how she looks after the training and after she has the costume and the makeup and everything else.
yeah, but you cannot change her face. Well, yeah, you can do, but not in that way.
It's all good, my man. It's all good. I mean,
I'm talking to you, Starlight. Oh man, that girl ruined her face.
well, I mean, I can't speak to that. I look. You're an adult. You're free to do with your body whatever you want, And if
No,
the
no,
producer,
I'm not saying that she can't do that. I mean, I'm
yeah.
saying that if I was her, I wouldn't have done that.
Well, I mean, again, it's I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Let's move on.
Yeah, yeah. I again, I believe that Millie was picked because she fits what they would like to do with the cameo that she's going to have in the movie, and probably with where they want to go.
Let me answer to that.
Wolverine 626. Oh, okay. He says Millie Alcott looks more like Supergirl than the one from the Flash movie.
That is absolutely true. And that is why I have hope for her casting, even though I am not convinced. Because when I saw Sasha, I said, that is not Cara Sorel. There's no way. And she made it work. So, Millie Alcock, who is, I have seen more of her work, and I'm very pleased with her work. That's what gives me hopes that her acting can solidify the character as hers.
She's only a few inches shorter than Helen Slater, who played Supergirl And the
You see, Helen Slater had the Cara Sorrell face. My God, that movie was bad.
yeah, it was that movie was rough. Let's see,
How
Woodley.
how did they manage to get Peter O'Toole and Faye
Oh,
Dunaway? I can understand that.
I can. It's the producers of the Superman films. You
Yeah,
have to,
but didn't they read the script?
some people like to trust those particular producers, and those producers had actually produced other films even before Superman. They had produced the series of Three Musketeer movies that were done in the early 70s. And the cast for those films, whoo, amazing cast. Uh, and then you look at the cast for Superman the movie, you know, uh, yeah,
Yeah.
of course, you want to work with those producers and you give them the benefit of the doubt. It's the same reason why you have actors that were falling all over themselves to be in the next Marvel film. You know, it's the same reason why you had actors falling all over themselves trying to get cast in Harry Potter back when that was in production. You had a lot of actors that were wanting to be a part of that. Uh, if you trust the producers, then yeah, you know, even in TV, the producers behind Star Trek: The Next Generation were fielding a lot of inquiries from various high-powered agencies as well as actors and actresses who wanted to be on the show back when The Next Generation was on the air. And trust me, if a lot of the major fans of that show had gotten their way, you would have had a lot more cameos by some famous people. One of which was Arnold Schwarzenegger. He wanted to get on Next Generation bad. I mean, bad. He wanted to get on. So, but you know what? That brings us to the main topic. You know, it's information like this, stories like this. You hear this kind of stuff whenever you go to any convention, no matter how big or small. It is an opportunity to gather with other people like myself and like Martin, like a lot of you, and just hang out and have a really cool weekend. Just either going to see a lot of the guests that are there, or take in a particular event, or just for the opportunity to go to a dealer's room and find something that you might want to buy and take home, or something that you can purchase to give to someone else. I'm not going to say that I did a lot of my yearly shopping at some of these events, but it's known to
Yeah,
happen.
it's economically unwise.
Well, it depends on what it is. And again, I will say this. If you decide to do that, you know, uh, be prepared. Sometimes you can end up paying a lot, and sometimes you get lucky and end up paying very little, comparatively speaking.
Yes, I've been in both ends of that spectrum.
Well, I think let's just start off. If this is mainly being put out there for a lot of people out there who have never been to a convention, because I know a lot of you veterans out there, you know what to do, you've done it before. But if you've never been to one of these, first and foremost, it really is about just finding an event and making sure that you can take the time off to go to that event.
Oh, kid, please, I
Let's see,
need to
wait a minute.
know
Anima
what is this.
says, whatever you do at your next convention, Keith, please don't get into trouble again. Again? When did I ever get into trouble?
Explain. I need.
I need to know what story you're talking about, because my experience is I'm either running a convention or I'm at a convention, but I don't ever remember getting in trouble. Huh? Batman means that name brings forth a lot of memories, but none of it having to do with me getting into trouble. You'll have to be a little more specific in the private chat. But
you have to get in the show, Anima. Come on, girl. You started this.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Okay. Let me. Okay.
Do we have pictures?
No pictures, but I now know what she's talking about. I went to a convention, and it was the final day of it, and it was a 2-day convention, and one of the dealers there had this nice full-size picture of Batman, nice drawing of Batman, and was really putting the hard sell on me to buy it, take it off her hands, because that's one less thing that she would have to lug all the way home. I took pity upon her. I asked her how much. She gave me the price. I said, "Oh, that's nice and cheap." I said, "Sure." I gave her the money. So I learned a lesson. First, never buy anything unless you've actually physically handled it at least once. And this thing was a lot heavier than it looked. And it was a lot bigger too. Yeah, okay. I do feel bad about that. I do feel bad. Okay, you got me, Anima. You got me.
I like to see that picture.
He survived. Gerry survived. It's yeah. I still have it. And once I get through with my new studio space that I'm designing, you'll be able to see it. I'm going to put it next to the kind of sort of life-size Superman that I have.
Oh,
yeah. It's
so it has it the likeness of any particular actor?
No. This is a couple of years back. The United States Post Office decided to honor Superman, I think, for his 75th anniversary, and put out a series of stamps. And so this is kind of a Kirk Swan inspired Superman artwork, like you would have seen in the comics, life size, for the United States Post Office. And yeah, that's nice. It's got to have a place of honor in my newly designed studio that I'm working on right now, which is the other reason why I rarely turn on my camera, because I'm still trying to get the space cleaned out.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
But once I do, it'll be kind of reminiscent of my other twin brother, Robert Meyer Burnett, but bigger in a way. I'm sure he, what you see on camera with his plays, I'm sure he's got a lot more stuff than what he shows. For as long as he's been a fan. I don't think I have quite as much stuff as Robert Meyer Burnett, but I do have a few things. and I'll definitely be able to show off some of my geekdom once I'm done with it. So there you go. Anyway, so let's start off with conventions itself. It's best to find one that you could easily just get the time off for, and preferably not too far away from where you are. Check the official website and find out first, make sure you know what your cutoff dates are for each increase, because sometimes, depending on how far away you are from the actual event, you can usually find tickets cheap, and they'll get more expensive the closer you get to the date of the actual event. So the quicker you can make a decision on going, sometimes it can actually be cheaper for you to do that. Make your way to their official website if they have one. If not, see if you can find an information page. Many conventions of the bigger conventions have their own apps now that you can just download onto your mobile device and find all sorts of things there.
Convenient.
Oh gosh, when they started doing that for San Diego, again, I've never been to San Diego, but I ended up just downloading the app, and I was blown away. Just blown away by that app. That was the first time I've ever knew a convention could do that. And the quality that they had, especially, I will say, the 2000 and I think it was 2014, 15 app for San Diego Comic-Con was freaking amazing. Just amazing. Wow. It's great. But for those of us that have been doing this for a few years, one of the things that you find yourself really getting into is just taking a look at all the guests that they have, all of the different categories of guests. You have your publishing guests, you have your art guests, sometimes even guests for clubs. Different organizations and clubs might even sponsor a guest or have a guest at their booth. Of course, you have your media guests, animation, television, film, streaming. And then you have, of course, cosplay. Many people in cosplay have become so good at what they do that they get invited as guests to many events. But you want to go through, check out all the guests, and try to coordinate, or figure out when the different panels for these guests are, where the official booth for many guests are, and figure out how you want to spend your time. And depending on the type of guests that you're talking about, hold on, wait. Wolverine 626, he says, according to Variety, the names being tossed around to replace Scott Stuber at Netflix are Emma Watts and, wait for it, Toby Emmerich. Okay, I'm not surprised about Toby, because back when Toby was first trying to get out before he got thrown out, he was talking to Netflix. Yeah, Toby would be a bad addition to Netflix, considering the damage he did to Warner Brothers. And again, I keep telling people, if you hated what happened with the DC films at Warner Brothers, that's on Toby Emmerich. Don't buy into the hype and changing of the story. Toby Emmerich Ann Sarnoff, Walter Hamada, and Jeff Johns, or the architects of how things went sideways for the DC films. The board also was complicit in taking things and just basically setting the whole thing on fire, in my opinion. But those particular individuals did damage to Warner's and to the DC films that they had. A lot of the issues that we had with changes made, like the Suicide Squad, and ultimately a lot of the things that resulted in a lot of the missteps during the filming of Justice League that eventually resulted in Zack Snyder leaving and being replaced magically and almost instantly by Joss Whedon, who just happened to be there. Surprise, surprise. Anyway, back to conventions. As I said earlier, make sure you check how much the ticket prices are and for how long you want to go. Some events will have the full weekend ticket. Let's say you're going to go for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's a 3-day ticket. But you can also buy tickets for just maybe one day, which is a lot cheaper than a weekend ticket. But as soon as you decide all of that, make sure you also check the official website for the official hotels connected to the event. Many events will do a deal with a local hotel or hotel located nearby to help bring in some guests, or at least help bring in, I should say, help get your business. It's good. It's big. It's great business for the hotel, and it's really good for the convention. But yes, make sure you check your hotel info ASAP. That's got to be the very next thing you do after you decide to buy your ticket. Now, you can either buy it in person at the door, or you can buy it online. If you buy it online, make sure you turn around and handle your business with your hotel room at the same time. And also double check to see if whatever hotel is your official hotel for the event. But whatever hotel you stay at, make sure that if it's a hotel that's right there near the event, what your parking situation is going to be like. If you're someone that's going to have to drive to the event, you definitely want to figure out some way of what would be your best bet for parking. You want to try to get to the event as early as possible. And if you're someone that's bringing something to have signed, I stress that you bring your signed item, if it's like a poster or a picture or something, that you at least find some way of putting inside of something else to protect it, like a plastic sleeve or something. For those of you that it's Cam's Crash Courses, going to get your coffee, you go ahead and do that. Make sure also that that if you're someone that's going to dress up in cosplay for a weekend, make sure that you have a change of clothes ready to go. You never know what happens, and sometimes, you might have a mishap. Make sure that along with your change of clothes, you also have an emergency, an emergency fix-it kit for your cosplay. If you're going to cosplay, you're going to need some sort of an emergency fix-it kit. Needle, thread, pair of scissors, anything that can be used to help fix whatever type of costume that you have, whether it's, whether you're going to end up using glue gun or, electrical tape or whatever you need. Make sure you create a kit to help you fix whatever it is you need to fix. Trust me, it comes in handy. Many events will have access to food in and around the actual area of the convention. Usually some events will have them at the convention, depending on the kind of contract they have. The people that actually run the event area where where your convention's at might actually have rules about bringing in outside food, so they may want you to buy food from there. And depending on what the prices are, I mean, yeah, you got many people that'll stand in line for whatever they may offer. Others may try to make plans to just go do food off-site. Find a nice burger joint or a pizza place, or you may want a sit-down Italian meal or Mexican or whatever. Make sure you and your friends coordinate when you want to do that. And it's good to do that way before the convention itself. This is part of the reason why you got to sit down with your crew, with your tribe, and just work all that stuff out ahead of time. Which guest are you going to see? Are you going to stand in line at their booth? Are you going to go to see them when they're doing a panel? You got to work out all your times for all of that. And then all of you need to agree when you want to break for lunch. Trust me, you're going to need that food. Pick a time. Yeah, trust me, years of doing this. Yeah.
Yep.
Pick your time when you want to, take off and go get food, and make sure that you and your friends all go together, because you're all going to need it. Also pick, and this is going to sound kind of out there, but I mean, it makes sense. Depending on the size of the event, pick out a place for you to meet all your friends in case there's an issue or a problem. Heaven forbid there be a fire or something. All of you need to pick a place to meet at in case something goes wrong. It's always good to have a predetermined place to do that, because depending on the size of the area where your event is, if, for instance, you're going to go to Vegas, or better yet, someplace like New York or San Diego for San Diego Comic-Con, those places are huge. And you shouldn't always depend on your ability to have cell phone service. If something should happen and cell phone service is not an option, okay, you should all at least have one or two places picked out that you can actually go and meet everybody. You should always assume that you're not always going to be able to easily get a hold of your friends using your cell phone. Trust me, some of us who actually grew up without cell phones will tell you. It's always good to have a place picked out, someplace where all of you can, all ahead of time. Hey, anything happens, we will meet, either near the car or near a water fountain or wherever, and see about coordinating a time when you guys actually want to all leave. Depending on what your situation is, you may want to pick a time, if you're there for the entire weekend, how long you actually want to stay day one, and whether or not you want to, spend some time exploring the town or the city where you're at, or just going out to hang out with friends, because you're going to be there tomorrow. And chances are, Saturday is always a much bigger day. No matter what you see on Friday, Saturday will always be a much bigger day. Dragon Roost, or just buy walkie-talkies. That's another thing. But let's just
But
say,
you have your phone. But why do you want a walkie-talkie?
well, but again, Martin Dragon Ruse, I will say, if you do not have that for whatever reason, you don't have access to that, or something happens, you should at least just have it understood. Have a place or two picked out. That way, you know, you never know. So, um, uh, my experience has always been that it's good to coordinate with your friends and see about where you can go and what time you want to leave to either, not just get lunch, but uh also where you want to go, or when you want to break for dinner, and whether or not you want to, if you're cosplaying, if you want to just like go dressed in whatever you have, or give yourself enough time to change clothes. Whether or not you want to stop by your hotel room before you do any of that, and many conventions have started having a lot of nighttime activities. So, you may want to give yourself enough time to be able to go change into something that's a little more conducive to doing stuff at night and having fun with your friends.
Phrasing.
Let's see. Anima Confusa. Phones can break or get lost, stolen. Good advice to pick a meeting point. Yep. Speaking as a guy who's attended many conventions, and a father who's taken his children to a few. Yes. That's my dad advice. But let's see. When it comes to meeting guests, depending on the guest, you should always just assume that you're going to have to stand in line for a little bit before you meet said guest. Now, remember, be a little patient, okay? Everybody there, including the people working the event, including the people that are putting on the event, everybody really wants to give you an opportunity to meet whoever you're there to meet, okay? But try not to let anything get to you. And if everybody just, is on their best behavior, I think we can get through that. I think it'll be a good experience for everyone, which is really what you want. Sometimes certain things happen now. Sometimes you'll have somebody having a bad day, or somebody will say something, or a guest is not having a good time, or whatever. Be accommodating. In many ways, even if it's not your town, you are kind of representing this area to a lot of the guests and others that are there. People who have never been there before. If it is your town, you're kind of like, in a way, an ambassador for your hometown. So, try to think of it that way. Be very helpful. One of the great things about having attended so many conventions over the years is that those particular events that have been around for years. Hey, it's Monkey Jeebus. Big hand Monkey Jeebus. Hey, Big Monkey. One of the things that always impressed me about certain conventions are really the way that, you're treated by the staff and by other people from that town. I will always be very appreciative to the people of Atlanta for Dragon Con. That event, in my opinion, It was one of the most incredible events I have ever been to in all my years of going to conventions. Everybody was nice. The staff was incredible. But what really impressed me were the people not even connected to the event, but the people that lived in Atlanta. The members of the fire department, police department, even sanitation, and others that work for the city and the local businesses, all were happy to have the convention there. That has not always been the case. I mean, sometimes you'll have conventions where a lot of the people that operate in that town could care less. But the people in Atlanta, just incredibly nice. Incredibly nice. If you've never been to an event of a particular size, if all you've ever been to is just a small convention, first of all, for your first convention, in my personal opinion, go to a smaller convention, see how you like it.
Oh,
But if that's not an option,
I did the complete opposite.
yeah, you probably went to a big one knowing you. But Martin, that's your personality. You just like jumping in, man.
No,
That's
it was
you.
my first convention. That was the only thing available. So, and I had never went into one. My first convention, I think, was in uh 2010
2010?
something. Yeah.
Oh. What was the name of the convention?
Oh, well, that first one was a car convention, a car garage.
Okay.
Oh, with they had everything. They had vehicles, they had shows, they had biker show, acrobatic shows. That was awesome. And the second one, the only one that I have been attending to until the CUF, which I think killed the convention. It was a collectors convention, but mainly centered on Star Wars. Three
Oh.
day shows. I had the opportunity. I mean, to go to four of them. Oh, I have so many pictures, and I met so many people. Man, I met Akbar, and I met Waro, and I met Deep Fortune, and I have proof.
Wow. See, it's that kind of see, that's why I did what I did for so many years. Why I worked so many conventions and met people, and there's just nothing like it. Seriously, it really does emphasize the whole finding your tribe thing. Being geeks and nerds, being people who would get into a lot of the programs and read comics and watch movies and TV shows that you enjoyed. I think it's just am I making the announcement today? Monkey Jeebus,
Are you?
I will be making it Friday during our very special 5th anniversary show. That's right. 5th anniversary show for Pop Culture Minefield. 5 years. And I will be making my decision then. But I just it's important that all of you show up on Friday. I think we're going to do it during our regular TGIF show. We're going to turn that into our 5th anniversary show. And all we ask is that you show up and bring a friend. We want this to be big, and we want this to be fun. And again, I don't think we could have done any of this without all of you. Definitely without you guys, there's no us, in my opinion. The very fact that many of you choose to spend your time listening to me ramble as Martin just performs his magic. Yeah, that is something very special. So, Animal says, don't miss the big party tomorrow. Yeah, you better not, or else you'll have to answer to Anima.
Hey, Cam comes back.
Cam! Hell to you, Cam. But I think we've reached the top of the hour. So this is a nice place to stop off and actually get some information on a really cool project.
Yes, and here we go.
Meet the Seattle Vigilante. Like so many comic heroes, this warrior hides his identity. But his identity isn't the only secret he has to keep. After grievous wounds received during combat, Tier 1 operator John Russell begins to recover and comes to terms with his new reality of being an amputee. And as he learns how to use his new prosthetic limb, he finds himself caught up in the bureaucratic red tape that too many wounded veterans experience, the exhausting medboard process. Out of sheer frustration, John takes it out on the criminal scum of the city. But when reality kicks in, John realizes he started something that's having an impact on the greater world around him, and thus has to reevaluate his motives. And moreover, just how far is John willing to go to finish this war he's declared against the criminals in Seattle? And will he even survive? From the creator of IDW's award-winning graphic novel Code Word Geronimo comes a new story about a different kind of warrior, Vindicated Inc., the first of its kind disabled veteran action hero comic. The Vindicated Inc. graphic novel crowdfunding campaign on fundmycomic.com is provided in the description of this video. We hope you become a contributor. Please share this link. Thank you.
That's right, fundmycomic.com, Project 363, Vindicated Inc. Comic written and drawn, created by my good buddy, Gerry Cassell.
Who?
So, Mr. Gerry Cassell. You know, my first convention was 1983. And I was downtown Kansas City, KCCon 2. So it was kind of a smaller affair, but it was fun, you know. Got a chance to meet Mark Leonard, who this great actor, character actor, who had been in a lot of different television shows. But for a lot of the people at the convention, he will always be Star Trek's Mark Leonard, because he was Sarek, Spock's father.
Yeah.
Along with being
the first ever Romulan we see.
That's right. Romulan commander.
Yes.
And he also did the trifecta because he was the Klingon commander in Star Trek The Motion Picture.
Indeed.
For me, I mean, I grew up watching him on the series Here Comes the Brides with recently passed actor David Soul. And you know, he had appeared in other things. But seeing him and meeting actor Judson Scott, who many of you may know as Khan's right-hand man in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. And Bennu on the short-lived series The Phoenix, which was his program. Getting an opportunity to meet those gentlemen and then meet Sandahl Bergman, who many of you may know as an actress dancer and who was Valeria in Conan the Barbarian. Oh, yeah. Yep. She was nice. She was real nice. And then what really just stood out to me, because, we're talking, me, is I got a chance to meet a representative from Lucasfilm there who, that was the only way that you could actually get your hands or get the opportunity to see the Star Wars films outside of seeing them eventually on cable. This representative brought Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back. And then the next day, the convention had a deal with a movie theater at the Bannister Mall, and we went there and watched the recently opened Return of the Jedi.
We will, Cam.
Thank you, Cam. But the dealer's room was nice. I'd never seen anything like that in my life. It's kind of small compared to a lot of the other dealer's rooms I would be dealing with in my life. But for that first convention, it was all just an incredible weekend. It was just so much fun. And much praise to the entire staff who did an incredible job. And to all my friends that I went with that weekend. It really did change my life, and it changed how I looked at things, But I would say since that first convention, I've been to quite a few other conventions. I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of different people, both in terms of people who have worked conventions, but also in terms of a lot of the guests, authors, artists, a lot of media guests. I've met people that I never thought I would ever get a chance to meet. George Takei was just incredibly nice. I mean, just an incredibly nice guy. Jason Momoa was larger than life and so much fun. William Shatner was just wow. Just wow. I mean, just royalty is really what he was. And he was a really cool guy. Leonard Nimoy was everything that he appeared to be. I still can't believe I met him. I still, to this day, I got to shake my head, and it's like, wow, I met Leonard Nimoy. For the record, I've met every single member of the Star Trek cast except DeForest Kelly. I probably would have liked him if I had met him. But everyone else in the cast, I've met. And I found them all to be incredibly nice. I've met a lot of friends, made a lot of friends at these events. But you really want to know what really did it for me was just the stuff that I do now, the stuff that you see on shows like Midnight's Edge and other places. those, a lot of the conversations that I have, I was having at conventions, so I was learning a lot. Uh, you always find yourself with, as I said before, you always find yourself with a group of people that seem to get you, and it does make a difference. It really does make a difference to find yourself, hanging out with a group of people that you either have known a few years or people you may have just met that weekend at that event. Like another favorite memory of mine was just spending 4 hours talking to a professional television director about his career and the things that he's experienced. I mean, I was assaulting him with all of these. It was just he and I. And so I took advantage of just asking question after question after question after question after question. And he answered it all. He gave of his time to answer all my questions. We're still good friends to this day. But I will always be grateful to him for giving me that time. In case you're listening, David, I really do appreciate you. And then, I've met some lifelong friends. I've made some friends at conventions that are my friends to this day. And had it been entirely up to me, I mean, I would have named my kids after a lot of them. But these kinds of events have evolved over the decades. And I think depending on, not depending, I shouldn't say that. It's just, find the one that fits you, your personality and sensibilities, and try to have fun. Just try to have fun. Oh, and as I like to say every year, probably the most important thing outside of making sure you tip your hotel staff is wear comfortable shoes. That is probably the most important thing. Make sure you got comfortable shoes. I know everybody's got their favorite pairs of shoes. Well, if they're your lucky shoes, make sure you've got the nice, just make sure that they have really nice cushions and all the proper stuff, orthotics for your feet, because you're going to be on your feet for a long time. You never know what's going to happen. And as I said before, you never know what you're looking at or looking forward to as far as any guests that you may go see. Sometimes you get lucky and you'll only have 3 people in front of you, or 30, or 60, or 160 or more in front of you. I still think back to probably the longest line I have ever seen in history was during one of the times that I got a chance to see Stan Lee. And it was unreal how many people were willing to stand in line and for how long.
Yeah, I can surely
Oh, my
believe that.
Wow. you know, a longer line than even the one for Jason Momoa or Stephen Amell. You know, which again, I've had my issues with the Arrow show itself, never with any of the cast, and especially Stephen Amell. Let me just say, even all these years later, that dude is for freaking real. Okay? It's always good when you admire someone and you have a good time with them. But Stephen Amell always treated everybody nice, at least in my times of interacting and seeing him interact with people. The dude was just amazing. You know, I would tell anybody, if you have an opportunity to have him as a guest or even go see him, do it. Nice guy. Nice guy. I've seen the non-nice people, but Stephen Amell's one of the good ones. Uh, I really did like watching him do what he does, and people's reaction to him. Really, there have been only a handful of people who I have thought were just not the nicest people. But almost everyone else have been either good to incredible. And yeah, it's just, I've been lucky enough to go a lot of different places, meet a lot of different people, and experience a lot of different things. And just again, oh, Cam says, last time I was in Spain, I left a few euros. When I came back, there were chocolate covered cherries, fruit plate, and a bottle of Roja red wine.
Yeah, it's a continuation to this, which is
Oh,
absolutely true.
yes, it is true. It is. It's amazing how many people don't follow this. You treat the hotel staff nice, because that's what they're there for. They're there to. I mean, think about it. They're there to clean up after you.
Mm.
You know, in a sense. At the end of your time there in a hotel room, you know, leave them a little something. You know, it's always good. It's always good. Yeah, you know, I always just think, yeah, that's the best way to go. And I encourage people, you know, just think of the hotel staff. Think of what they see on a
Yeah.
weekly basis, and think about how conventions rolling through. What gets left in a lot of these rooms.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to.
So I mean, you know, if you have an opportunity, you know, leave a few. You know, leave a few bills. So, uh, yeah, that's my yearly piece of advice as we head into convention season. My number one is definitely comfortable shoes, because
Yeah.
just at an event like San Diego, for as big of an event that is. I mean, when you're younger, you think, oh, you know, what's this guy talking about? Trust me, you don't know pain until you've been on your feet for untold number of hours, walking around doing things. Oh, jeez. you actually find out, what are the best pairs of shoes to wear too. What companies make the best? Because there was one pair of shoes that I once had that almost literally fell apart off my feet. So I had to improvise something. I ended up wearing a different pair of shoes the next day, but for the pair that I had worn down that much, I had to find glue to at least glue some of, pieces of the shoe back together,
Oh,
I made sure not to buy another one of those though from that company. But I had to at least, Oh, anyway,
bye, Penny.
bye,
Enjoy
Penny.
your movie.
Yeah,
I don't know that movie. I don't know what movie is that.
I've heard the name, but I know nothing about that. Animal Confusa says,
Oh,
he, excuse me, I got to know pain when I was invited to a ball and had to be in high heels for hours. Never again. Wow. Wow. You know what? Yeah, you ladies have it bad.
yeah.
Having to wear, I could not even imagine. Whew, jeez. I mean, a lot of you ladies, a lot of everybody, I mean, depending on what you have to wear as far as going to conventions and in cosplay, more power to you. That's all I can say. More power to you. Um, you know, it's these events represent one of the few ways I like to think that helps to keep all of fandom alive. And what I mean is, it's
Wait, wait. Look at this news. Donnie Yen
okay.
has. Oh, I
Oh,
can I can get behind that.
well, I can understand why they had to go after Donnie Yen to be in that, considering the other piece of news. Oh, thank you, Anima. Anatomy of a Fall is a French thriller. Anima also says she borrowed the dress. It was too long, so no choice with the shoes. It sucked. It probably did. I feel for you. Um, let's see. Back to Wolverine 66 and the Kung Fu news about Donnie Yen being cast as the lead in the new Kung Fu feature based on the 70s TV series. Comes from David Leitch and 87 North and Universal. Let me tell you, um, there is a distinct possibility that Warrior could become a feature. I've heard the rumor. Now, for those that don't know, Warrior is a television show that you can actually find, I think, on Netflix right now. It's either Netflix or Max. It's one of the two. But the Kung Fu was a television series that was a big hit in the 1970s.
From what time period is Warrior?
Hold on. I'll get to Warrior. Hold on, because it all connects.
Okay.
Bruce Lee created a television series for himself called Kung Fu. Okay, or at least that was the story we were told. Bruce Lee came up with an idea for a television series. He had been thinking about it for quite a while. And as it usually happens in Hollywood, sometimes you trust the wrong people. And in his case, he thought that the person who he was teaming up with to bring this to life was someone who was really as excited to bring this to life and was someone who he could count on. Turned out this person basically took his idea and instead of Bruce being the lead, Bruce found himself cut out of the entire deal.
Damn.
And they casted, because he created the idea, he created this idea for the show to have him in the lead. That isn't what you got. What you got was David Carradine.
Oh.
And
Interesting.
a lot of the stuff that Bruce Lee came up with got altered. Basically, you know how I've talked to everyone about how Star Trek Discovery came to be? This was the show that did that to Bruce Lee. They took his idea, they altered it just enough, and put it out there, and the show became a hit.
Man, I don't know why. I would think that trying to steal something from Bruce Lee wasn't a good idea.
Well, Warrior is basically his idea done up a lot closer to what his original idea for what eventually became Kung Fu was. And it was created by his daughter. She gave her blessing and gave the notes over to a group of people who brought Warrior to life. So Warrior actually is everything that the Kung Fu series wasn't. And as I've said before, unless you've seen it, check it out. Because the story, the characters, it's one of the best TV shows I've seen. It kicks ass and takes names. And I think the best way to put it is for all of the stuff that happens on the show. It's like in a good way. It's like not as violent, but right around the same as, say, like Peaky Blinders, except it's about the Chinese experience in California. During the 19th century and mid to late 19th century. And it's got an incredible cast. The fight choreography, the look, the characters. It's a great show. Now, that being said, I like David Leitch. Okay? I do like the guy. I like his experience. I like the stuff that he's put together. And if he's got Donnie Yen, that's fine. I will give them an opportunity to entertain me with their Kung Fu film. That said, I am very aware, though, of the history of the Kung Fu series and what was done to Bruce Lee. And my thing is, for everyone that's going to actually sit down to watch this revived version of Kung Fu, please give Warrior a chance and watch it. That's all. That's all I can say. Just give Warrior a chance. Wolverine 626. What surprised me about the Donnie Yen Kung Fu news was the involvement of Universal and not Warner Brothers. I hate when the rights to IP are split between studios, right? Because we're about to see that played out again with we've been seeing it play out with the Spider-Man films as far as Disney and Sony are concerned. So, Monkey Jeebus, Shanghai Noon was Kung Fu. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. But I really do believe that that the cast of Warrior is some of the best out there. And just like with Blue-Eyed Samurai on Netflix, the cast is what is important. Blue-Eyed Samurai did a phenomenal job with its cast. I tell every time I talk about that show, I tell people, don't believe me, Google Blue-Eyed Samurai cast and look at everybody that's on that show. Trust me. Time well spent watching Blue-Eyed Samurai. But it is not a show for, just because it's an animated show or appears to be anime-like, this is not a show for people under a certain age.
Yeah, it is not. Absolutely not.
It is not a family-friendly adventure. Okay? So,
Yeah,
be
there
warned.
is there's violence, there's nudity,
There's sexual situations.
yeah.
Yeah, it's, and Warrior has some of that too. The thing about the Kung Fu show in the 70s was that it was a show that everybody watched. I remember watching the pilot, and the next day at school, every kid was just like, you got to remember in the 1970s, there were three things that definitely got a lot of young boys growing up really just, movies with fast cars, comic books, and anything related to Kung Fu, Bruce Lee, or the Kung Fu television series. And I'm talking from 1971 to about 1975. That was just that period right there. Whew. And you could check what I say by looking at all the advertisements in comic books. And it's the reason why Shang-Chi, as a comic book, just kicks so much butt. And why the Shang-Chi movie is just not a good adaptation of the comic.
Hell, it's not even a good movie.
Yeah, well.
No, it's not.
You're right. It's a missed opportunity. If they get a chance to reboot a lot of this, my advice would be if you still want to go down that road with Sam Wilson and eventually have him become Captain America, what they should have done was they should have had Sam Wilson and the Winter Soldier and Shang-Chi and do a crossover movie with the three of them. But to have Shang-Chi be more like the Shang-Chi in the comics, get rid of the superhero suit and the magical powers and just make it the story of a guy who is extremely gifted as a fighter and who has decided to basically take down the structure of this worldwide criminal organization piece by piece. Basically, if you took Star Wars and amped up Luke's abilities, forget the best friend and the Wookiee, forget the sister, and just have Luke go right at the Empire, taking out different installations piece by piece till he could face his dad. That's Shang-Chi. It is a revenge tale. Basically, it's Kill Bill, but the stakes are a lot higher, and his father is just the worst. I mean, whew. But no, Disney and Kevin Feige decided, well, we're going to turn Shang-Chi into a superhero. It's like, well, wait a minute. Why are you going to do that?
Mm.
But they gave him a super suit and magical powers. And then, ironically, the people of China didn't even like the movie.
Or the actors.
or the actors. So, well, what can you do? But yeah, that whole situation with Captain America 4 and Shang-Chi 2, I mean, it's just a cluster. And they could solve both problems if they are willing to
Sell back the IP? Yeah, please.
No, there's no way they can sell it back. But if you are willing to do whatever it takes to fix it, David Leitch would be a good person to bring in since he helped out with some of the choreography on Civil War. He and his partner, who were the two people behind the John Wick movies, choreographed the airport fight scene in Civil War. I say give those two, just back up 2 dump trucks of money, hire those guys, and put together a 7 to 8 episode Disney Plus event with Sam Wilson, Bucky Barnes, Shang-Chi, Agent
Carter?
The other Agent Carter. You got to remember where you last saw her. And
but they made her a villain now.
And also the Agents of Atlas. There you go. And for those of you who thought you were real Marvel fans, if you don't know who the Agents of Atlas are, you're going to have to Google that one. But there's a character you've already been introduced to. And the actor that they've hired to play a particular part doesn't even fit with that because you made the character into a joke. So you can't even properly do the Agents of Atlas, which is a kick-butt group. There's a lot of mistakes they made. Kevin Feige made. Some of those mistakes predate even Infinity War and Endgame. So there's something to be said for just trying to follow the comics as close as possible. It doesn't have to be one for one exact, but you should at least trust the original comics. They will lead you the right direction. And that takes us back to James Gunn. That's the reason why I believe more in James Gunn than I do Tom King. So I'm hoping James Gunn can fight the evil advice that Tom King will give him a lot. Personally, I don't even see why James Gunn would need someone like a Tom King unless he just thinks that he needs to have a comic book person there. My thing is, if you're going to have Tom King, you should at least balance it out by having one or two more comic book people who have worked for DC help you out. Because if it's just Tom King by himself, all of this that you're doing, it's not going to turn out very well. So Tom King has no qualms about trying to stick to the message. So whoa, Monkey Jesus. Whoa. What did you say?
A
They
rebooted
rebooted Agents of Atlas? Figures.
by Anima.
Bye, Anima. Thank you very much. Yeah. Well, after what they did to X-Men in the comics, kind of figures they would do that to Agents of Atlas. Wow. But yeah, these are the kinds of discussions that at least when I do this show, these are the kind of discussions I would always have at conventions. There'd always be a group of us that would just sit down and just toss out bits of information and try to help each other gain an understanding. It was always a lot of fun. I'd always hope to just sit down and with a group of my friends and invite in certain people of note to participate in a lot of this fan conversation. And there are a few people that would really fit doing that kind of thing. People like Sam Witwer, who is a total fan. Okay, that guy is a fan. Sam Witwer he could answer questions about a lot of the Star Wars stuff that he's participated in, but for a fact from the way that he seems to be, that dude's a fan. That dude is a nerd. Joe Manganiello is another one. That guy's a total nerd. Monkey Jeebus says Tom King is the way he is because he's depressed and being manipulated into wanting to fit in. Probably.
Soy by association. Oh my God.
Well, that's a t-shirt right there. If everyone you work with is gay, you start to act soy by association. Soy by association. That is so cool, Monkey. You just came up with a t-shirt right there. Soy by association. Wow. Okay. Look at Monkey just like getting it out there. Look, I don't hate Tom King. Trust me, I don't really hate the guy at all. I don't know him. All I do know, I know him by what he's written. And you may be right. He may be writing this way because certain people, quote unquote, above him at DC want him to write a certain way, but I don't know. I don't know if I could betray all of the people.
There are two things apparently not in fashion these days. They are called integrity.
True.
And bravery. Man, well, that's material for another rant. I have constantly not the place.
Yeah. Whoa,
So
can't.
let's get back to the convention
Yeah,
because yeah, I mean, I can tell you if you haven't got into one, that first one, this it will be a strange combination of excitement and feeling like shit if you weren't prepared because
I would.
you're gonna feel pain in places that you didn't know you
Yeah.
have.
Well, and again, I will at least for those of us of a certain age, if you're lucky enough to find a hotel that offers a hot tub, take it. Let's see, Cam, I gotta hop and do some chores for my mom. Oh, dude. Hey, Cam, you have yourself a good day. Uh, all my love to your parents, and yeah, we'll talk again later. Okay, take care.
Beckham, you see,
Wow.
those parents raise a great son.
Yeah, yeah, that's tough, man. Both of them, though. Wow. Anyway, yeah, you've got to be prepared when it comes to conventions physically to be able to go through all that stuff. I mean, yeah, when you're young, you'll definitely heal.
Mm.
When I was younger, I didn't worry about aches and pains of the body. I could go all day and do whatever. And see, Monkey Jeebus. Well, yes.
You know who what character is the perfect embodiment of social justice warriors and their tactics? It's from Harry Potter. It's that woman Dolores Umbridge. That's exactly their method, man.
Wow. Again, as I said at the beginning, just proper planning if you decide to attend a convention, any convention of any size. You want to
Clothes,
max
food, stay hydrated.
day.
Make
Oh,
sure
that's a
that
good
you
one.
are hydrated.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And,
Besides
and
the
re-
comfortable shoes, hydration is very important.
yeah, remember to have your own supply of toilet paper because there are a lot of people using those facilities and it can run out. And then
Yeah.
you will have trouble.
Yeah. 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 Oh, and as I said at the beginning, let me reemphasize the message. Make sure you take hand sanitizer with you.
Yes.
And uh, make sure you're um, make sure you're get enough rest uh, and positive attitude. And for those of you who are just like me, kind of semi-professional while going to certain conventions, make sure you have your list either on your person that you've written or on your phone ready to go of the top 20 things you're looking for. Everybody has that list. The 5 to 7 comic books you need to complete whatever collection you got going on, stuff like that. Just make sure you have your list handy and ready to go when you're in the dealer's room. And, Wolverine 626 says Beetlejuice 2 officially titled Beetlejuice 2024 AD. Wow.
Oh, another thing. Don't buy something the moment you see it. Wait to the final days of the convention.
Well, now that's a good piece of advice for any other convention. But for San Diego, that isn't. And I'll tell you why. Their dealer's room is so big. And there are so many people there. There's no guarantee that finding one thing is going to be there. This is one of the downsides about San Diego. You got to make a decision at that moment and then try to live with leaving something behind. In other words, you need to make a deal with yourself about, if I do not buy this item here, that means I'm hedging my bets that I'm going to find something that is going to be even better than what I have found right now. Good luck with that. To gamble. But no, I like helping people figure it out. And yeah, you're right. You're right. Monkey Jeebus. Yep. Monkey Jeebus does it again. Don't delay. It will get bought out. And then you're out of luck. And he says you need to plan out what exclusives you want. Yeah, because sometimes certain tables will have exclusives that you can't find anyplace else. So you got to make a decision, Got to balance all kinds of things. Now, it's not that easy sometimes to figure out what many dealers will carry. So plan for the things that you can plan. Guests, panel discussion, stuff like that. When you're going to break, and where and for how long. In the end, it's just important to, if you really want to maximize the event, just plan quite a few things out. And remember, hand sanitizer, comfortable shoes, work out a place to meet your friends. And yes, I know everybody's got cell phones and all the other things, and that's great. But sometimes accidents happen, For those of you cosplaying, make sure you have a change of clothes. Yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, Monkey Jeebus says you have to go upstairs at the beginning of the convention to get tickets for the line to get exclusives. You can just line up to the big booths like Hasbro. Yeah, Hasbro has its own problems, though. Oh, man. Hasbro just needs to let Disney figure out what they want to do. They just need to basically get away from Disney for 2 or 3 years until Disney could figure out what they're doing. Let's see.
Maybe.
I think that's it. I think that's all I've been able to come up with. That's the best of what I've gotten from all these years of doing conventions. Hopefully. What?
Coming from an old man, if you can get a foldable chair, those are the mini. I don't know the word in English. That made of canvas and.
Yeah. That's
You don't know when you may need it.
That's a good idea. I didn't think of that one either. Look at you, Martin. That's it, really. Hopefully we've given you some advice that is useful, or at least fun, and wow. So we've had quite a few people come into the show today. I want to thank everyone that has taken time out to come in and enjoy our show, and hopefully You can find yourself supporting Gerry's novel at www.fundmycomic.com/campaign/363/Vindicated Inc. So, thank you, Monkey Jeebus, Cam's Crash Courses, Wolverine 626, Dragon Ruse, Emotionally Unstable Amphibian, Mrs. A, and Morrow, Anima Confusa, D, Bud, Martin, Penny, and Tim.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, I was checking. You still with us?
Oh, sorry. No, I thought I heard something because, it's just me at the house. I thought I heard somebody at the front door. Anyway, let's see. Penny and Tim. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming by. Oh, and of course, let's see. Monkey's putting down some info about Mead Radio. Yes. Get a little nerdy with Mead Radio. And do not forget that tomorrow for TGIF, we are celebrating our 5th anniversary of Pop Culture Minefield. So, if you've ever enjoyed anything we put out over the last few years, come on by, say hi, bring a friend, and, just help us celebrate 5, and hopefully we'll be able to give you another 5. Make it even more entertaining than the first 5, I hope. So, for myself, good buddy here, Martin, and for everyone at Pop Culture Minefield, this has been Morning Coffee with Keith and Martin, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.